back. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing teacher burnout. Do you feel tired, exhausted? Do you feel as though you're working all of the hours and nothing is coming from that work? Do you feel as though you need to keep providing new content for your learners? If that is the case, then keep watching because I've got some tips for you. So a bit about myself, my name's Melissa, and every week I will come to you with a brand new video. I provide business coaching for online teachers and teachers that are working in schools as well, that want to set up their own businesses or teach online. So in this video I'm talking about teacher burnout, and I'm going to be very personal with you as well and talk about my experiences with teacher burnout and what I learned and how to resolve that particular issue. Coming from a background of working in schools, I know that us teachers are hardworking and we will just keep working and working and working, putting the pupil, putting the student, the learner at the forefront of our minds. But there does become a time when it can become too much, where there comes to a point where the teacher can't give anymore and we become physically exhausted. So if you are online teaching and creating your own content, say for Outschool, for example, or you're running your own business, then I would say rehash some of your content. If you are providing classes and new content week after week after week to your same students that you have, so you might have 5 to 12 in a class, think about using that content from your weekly classes for a multi-day class, for a camp. So that's what I've done. I teach a few ongoing classes, which means that I'm teaching children every single week. Some children stay, some children drop out. I've been teaching the same kids since October in one particular class. But they have stayed, some of them, to see the same content over again twice. Sometimes you can't physically find the time to change content for a few students, and the students become accustomed to the teacher and really just like the class, and will actually do the class again, believe it or not, from my experience. I've also found that if I put some of those lessons, say 3 or 4 of those lessons together, then I've got a 4-day camp, a 5-day camp for the summer, and I don't have to create new content. What I do is I mix up the ongoing with the camps as well. I make sure that I schedule my camps at least 4 weeks in advance, and at that point I always see bookings. I always see parents booking, and I'm like, oh, it's getting really close, we've only got 1 student, and then before I know it, the class has got 4 or 5 kids within that week as it comes closer to it. Just believe and have faith that your content is good enough and that it will sell. If it's selling as an ongoing, then it will definitely sell as a multi-day as well. So that's what I would say. Don't reinvent the wheel. Look at the content that you have got, see how you can rehash it and use it in a different form. Look at one-time classes as well. A lot of teachers have said they haven't had great success with one-time classes, but are you teaching an ongoing class where the content is really, really popular? Think about putting it as a one-time class. If you are going to teach later on in the evening, how about putting a popular one-time class later in the evening instead of committing to an ongoing class at 11 p.m, 12 p.m, 1 a.m. in the morning, which I know a lot of us UK teachers are doing in order to reach the US market. For you guys out there that are based in the US, you don't really have this issue so much, but us in the UK, it's our afternoon, evening time when the US wake up. So we have been working until that time, and I made that mistake of creating an ongoing class that was later on in the evening, and really I couldn't keep it up. I couldn't really justify it for 2 students or 1 student. But then if it's a one-time class, if I'm feeling up to it and good, and it's once in a while, I can post that class, which I have done, and one class is $125 because I've got a few students in there, and it's okay to then teach till 11 p.m. in the evening when it's a one-off. Look at your schedule as well. Think about splitting your day maybe. Or so what I do is I might say do a few hours in the morning and then a few hours in the evening. But don't try and work all the way through the day where it's from the morning right through till midnight. I've done that as well, and I'm telling you right now, that will lead to burnout too. Really think about your time and what your time is worth. We are running a business after all, so sometimes if you can't do a class because you can't afford to do that class, it feels awful cancelling it. But even me, I have had to cancel lessons, new classes that are coming up, and I've had to cancel them because they're not going to earn me enough money. So on average, in a half an hour's class, I could easily, after Outschools be taking home $84 for half an hour. But if I've got a child for a 6-week class and it's only $54 from that one child for 6 weeks, is it really worth my time? Absolutely not. Not for me anyway, because it will lead to burnout. I myself, I am doing Outschool. I have my own independent business outside of Outschool as well, and I'm doing numerous other things such as YouTube too, where I have another YouTube channel that's monetized and creating lots of other things in the background. So unfortunately, I don't have that time. Another thing to avoid burnout is to make sure you have breaks. Take those breaks. Take a break in the middle of the day. We work for ourselves. You can afford to go out for a half an hour walk, a 45-minute walk. Put that into your day. You need to look after your own health. Health is wealth after all. And again, I will say I learnt this the hard way. I was working non-stop and I do have an underlying health condition, and I had to take 6 weeks off because I ended up being hospitalised just before I was about to teach a lesson. My mind was so much on working that the doctor had called me up and said, you need to go to hospital now. And I said, well, I'm teaching a lesson. Is it possible that I can continue the lesson? No, you need to go now. So I had to go to hospital. Your body will tell you when enough is enough, and my body at that point told me enough is enough. So make sure you put in breaks. Make sure you have a day off. Have a day off in a week, or even 2, but make sure you make some time for yourself and your family so that you can continue loving and enjoying what you do. Otherwise it will lead to burnout, and you will just end up hating it, hating working. And it's not because you don't enjoy working with children. I have found it's just because you're so exhausted, you're so tired, you get cranky, and you're just like, oh, again, and it's on the run mill again. The beauty of working for yourself is having the freedom and creating time for yourself, because that's what it was about for me anyway. It was for my family, time, and my health. So please don't put yourselves in a position where you don't have any time, where you're sacrificing your own health, when actually all we have to do is work smart and not too hard. If you did like this advice, then please do smash that like button, because it really does help the channel, helps me grow, helps you guys to keep watching and seeing my content. Thank you for watching.